what you really want to do is dive deep into yourself and think about the very worst thing about you. And whatever that story is, the worst thing about me is blah, 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 story. It's a story. But you will find that that story is attached to some pain. And it's the pain you can't accept. It's the pain that you're running away from. Yeah. My name is Cassandra, and welcome to my temple. You might be looking at me wondering what the hell I know about pain, right? You'd be surprised as to how painful it is to be treated like a sexual object since the age of 10. But not only that, I have gotten myself from a place of wanting to end it all to wanting to be here. I've done some living. I've done some living, and I've done some learning. And I think one of the responsibilities as a human being is to teach what you know. And deep pain is something that I know. I mentioned this in my last video, and it's that at some point in our lives, we realize that we are not totally and completely loved. Most of us try to keep eradicating this thing inside of us that isn't lovable. Sometimes when we fail at that, we try to eradicate it outside of ourselves. You know, people have different methods of trying to get to the same thing, which is back to that state of love. The thing that we really have to understand is that self-acceptance has no terms or conditions. Self-acceptance as a lived experience has no terms and has no conditions. You accept humanity. You accept your humanity, right? We don't have a clear idea of what it means to be human. We only have fantasies about what it means to be human. But what it is to be human is to have pain, is to have grief, is to make mistakes. All of the things that we reject the most in ourselves happen to be the most universal feelings that connect us all. So when we understand that our pain is something every single one of us experiences, we are not alone anymore. There are so many people experiencing the pain of loneliness, the pain of isolation, the pain of not being loved, the pain of being rejected, the pain of rejecting ourselves. All of these things, our deepest pains, are what make us human. The story that we're told about pain is either it shouldn't be there, or it means there's something wrong with us. So we really have to change our perspective of pain to be universal. First of all, you got to understand that the thing you're looking for is self-acceptance. You are trying to earn self-acceptance. You're trying to live your life in service to all of the things you think are going to get you self-acceptance and love. When you start to understand that about yourself, like the reason you do everything you do is to try to either gain self-acceptance or to gain love. What you really want to do is dive deep into yourself and think about the very worst thing about you. And whatever that story is, the worst thing about me is blah, 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 story. It's a story. But you will find that that story is attached to some pain. And it's the pain you can't accept. It's the pain that you're running away from. I think of feelings as colors. And sometimes when I'm in the present moment, what I'll do is I will evaluate the feelings that are coloring the present moment. And a lot of times I found that the feelings that are coloring my perspective are feelings from my past that have nothing to do with this moment at all. Most of the time, if I'm feeling anything, it is not in response to what is currently around me. It is not actually in the present. I am reacting to something that happened a long time ago. And it's using these feelings and creating reality, creating our present moment from a distorted, colored perspective. We are not, and it's not intelligent. It's not as intelligent as we can be. When we are talking to someone we disagree with, or arguing with someone that we disagree with, we do not have our full capacity for understanding, because we are seeing the person we're arguing with as a threat. Is this person actually threatening you? Is your life being threatened? Or is it your sense of self that's being threatened? Something ayahuasca told me back when I took it in 2018 was that everybody wants love, even if they try their hardest to reject it. There is a part of them who opens up to the idea of being loved, learning how to love other people, learning how to accept other people, learning how to accept yourself, how to perceive the colors of your existence, perceiving your own feelings, and understanding the stories that you're telling about your own feelings and how that colors your entire reality. It's a lifelong process. It's not something that's innate to us. It is innate to tell stories, but telling ourselves stories that will get us out of arrested development requires other human beings who have gotten themselves out of arrested development. And if there is something that I can call myself an expert in, I've put in over 10,000 hours of this work. It is developing myself and healing myself and learning how to accept myself, really trying to understand humanity, trying to understand myself rather than judge myself, trying to understand people rather than judging people. I guess that's all I have to say. I hope this all makes sense. So, okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.